Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today in part 3 we are going to continue the file folder folio, my guest design project for LineDotArrow. But before we begin, I have something to share with you guys because there has been an issue. When we open this up, you'll see that there's already something here. And that is because I lost the video. The video got corrupted. I have no idea what happened. I tried saving it. I got an error message. Then I tried saving it again. And it seemed that it was okay. But I filmed it as a separate shorter files. So I deleted all those videos because I thought I was done, you know, and I also emptied the bin on my computer, and then it turned out that the video wasn't saved properly and I've lost all my filming material. It was all gone. I couldn't recover it either. It took me about 6 hours to find a solution online. I've tried so many things. But yeah, it was all gone. So I'm very sad, but you guys won't see the process of this, but I will show you up close and I will tell you what I've done. I covered the background, obviously. I took a strip of the same stuff as the file folder and then I made a belly band. These are all from the Grunge kits, which is also a thing that you are now missing. I actually bought 2 more kits of the Grunge collection. I think it was the ephemera and the journal kit. Yeah, there were 2 more kits that I didn't show you guys yet, but I cannot show you those now anymore because everything is already cut up and you know. So go over to LineDotArrow's Etsy and there are 5 Grunge kits. I'm using all of those right now. Okay. So I collaged a bit on the strip and I added some hardware and I've sewn through it. All the pieces are a bit roughed up and they're all inked. And then I made a notebook, which I made from an Amazon paperback. I cut it to size, then I covered it on both sides to make the cover. It's extra sturdy right now. And then I actually filled it with all sorts of papers. There are some vintage papers, coffee dyed paper, this is handmade paper, all sorts. And it's just a little notebook, so it's not very elaborate or something. It's simple. I stitched all around the cover and I made a little nameplate and some stamping, and here's some extra embellishment. And it slides in perfectly right here. So that's basically what you guys missed. I'm also gonna address that I am going to try to do voiceovers to see how that was going. This video was originally talking is hard. This video was also gonna be sped up and then with a voiceover. That's actually all I had to do, make the voiceover, and I was planning to do that tomorrow morning, but that's not gonna happen because the video is gone. But okay, as you guys know, I can only film real time when my boyfriend's not at home. He is at home now, but he's actually sleeping on the couch, so I'm trying to not talk that loud so I can make this part of the video and then I can start crafting without talking, and then I can keep filming and I can keep crafting, and then I only have to do the voiceovers when he's not at home, which gives me more opportunity to craft. So I'm gonna see how that works for me, and yeah, so that's what we're gonna do from now on for at least a little while to see how it goes. Also, please let me know in the comments what you prefer. But yeah, just note that if I'm gonna be doing real-time videos, I won't be able to upload a lot, like maybe once a week, and that's just not that much. And it also means that I cannot craft in the rest of my time because then I cannot film it if you want real time. So that's that. So yeah, if you are curious about how I done it, it's very simple. Just a belly band with a simple notebook. You didn't really miss that much. All right. Okay, I'm very sorry, but yeah, this is what it is. Well, without further ado, let's continue crafting on part 3. Well, actually part 4, but yeah, let's continue with the video. This is where I continue the speed crafting, let's call it that, and the voiceovers. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I hope you enjoy what we are going to make. And if you have not yet, please subscribe to my channel and like, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Bye! For today's project, I am going to continue working on the folder. I start with choosing my papers and then I fold them over to where they need to be cut. But instead of cutting, I like to use a ruler and just tear it. That will also give the paper a sort of a distressed edge already, which I enjoy. I do this quite a lot. And I really enjoyed this paper that I chose because it looks like a real envelope even though it's not. Really love that bottom part. It looks so cool. And then for the top part, I'm doing the same thing, just folding over my paper and tearing it off with a ruler. And after that, I'm going to do some inking all around the edges using ground espresso. I'm just checking to see if everything fits beforehand. And after inking, I'm also running the papers through my sewing machine. I'm also sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. She is napping in my room. I'm still a bit sad that the video of yesterday didn't work out and that you guys didn't see the process. I love making those belly bands, but yeah, I'm very sorry. After I've run it through my sewing machine, I will be gluing them down. And first, I want to make some closures using circles and what are they called? Those split pens, I guess? Yeah. So I'm looking for the middle, trying to measure, but I suck at measuring. So then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna fold over the piece, then I find the middle, and then I will place my dot. That would be easier for me. I just eyeball the middle then, but at least the center, like the dot will be in the center fold. And then I'm just poking a hole with my awl. I don't know that word. Awl? Awl? It's such a weird word to me. Anyway, I'm then continuing with using my punch. I think it's the 1 inch. Yeah, it's the 1 inch. And then I cut 2 circles. And I also cut 2 circles from some pattern paper to go on top. I always do some craft stock underneath cardstock to make it sturdier. And here I'm looking through my scraps from the papers that I've already used. And I decided to go with a neutral one because I didn't want to make it too busy. And after cutting those, I will glue them together with some art glitter glue and then distress the edges a bit. I'm also punching some hole reinforcers. I must say though, I'm not a big fan of this punch. Firstly, I think the holes are a bit too big, and also you cannot see where you're punching because the bottom side is actually closed, so that's also a bit annoying. And the third thing is that when you're punching, you don't really feel like you've punched through something. So yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not a big fan, so I'm on the hunt for a different one. But I also have die cuts, so those work as well. But I just think that a punch is easier and faster. And then I'm poking some holes again, so that the split pens, I hope that's the right word, so that they can go through. And I'm just eyeballing the middle there. And while I was looking for those split pens, I was like, I have seen people using an eyelet instead. And I'd never done that before. So I was like, okay, maybe we should try that. But first I am... oh no, I'm not yet, sorry. I'm poking a bigger hole, or making a bigger hole, obviously. And I'm looking for some of the eyelets. I'm also using... I'm not sure what the word for that is either, but my eyelets came with little circles that you can put on the other side to make it more neat. And now I'm poking some holes, or cutting some holes, and I use the hole reinforcers. I do that to give it a little bit more room for the threads to wind them around. I really like that look. It looks nice. Now I'm doing the other one. And then I wanted to attach them, and I was like, okay, how do I attach these? So I tried gluing them down. Oh, we're not there yet. I'm sorry. First, I'm gonna roughen up the edges, and then I'm going to use some ground espresso to ink it. I like to use my scissors to distress the edges, but I also have a distress tool. I just prefer my scissors. Okay, and now I'm going to try to attach them. So I can only put glue on a small piece, otherwise the threads won't be able to go around them, right? And while I was attaching it, I was like, this is never gonna be sturdy enough. So I made new ones with the split pens. I did not film that, but here you can see them. And then I took a large junk mail envelope with a, a window, because I want to make sort of a tri-fold ephemera holder. So I'm just checking to see how I want to fold it. And once I find a position that I like, I will fold it and make sure that it's straight and such. And I will use the bone folder to make sure everything is folded properly. I've never made a tri-fold ephemera holder before, but I've seen many pictures on Pinterest. That's where I like to go for inspiration. And I was like, okay, I just have to make one. And then what I also like to do is go on YouTube and see if I can find some videos and do see how other people make them. And then I combine everything that I've seen and just make something based on videos that I've watched. But I never really follow a tutorial. Well, that's not true. I sometimes follow tutorials, but most often I just look for inspiration and then I try to make something myself. It always with trial and error, of course. As you can see, I'm cutting down slivers from the envelope, and that I do that because I want to be able to decorate on the inside. The reason is that the part where the window is obviously needs some decoration inside, but it's also going to be a pocket. So when you open it, it's important to me that you see some nice papers. I'm very sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. She started to whine and she won't stop, and I really don't want to start the recording over. Anyway, I chose this beautiful paper with some handwriting on it or script, and I love the turquoise spots on it. I thought this was very suitable to do on the inside. You will see this through the window and also when you look inside the envelope. And I'm just gluing it down with glue stick, and then I'm folding over the edges. And then I am going to be collaging the entire envelope with the same process actually as this. Some pieces will be inked, others won't. I don't know why I do that. I guess, I don't know. Just, yeah, some pieces are and some pieces won't be. And I most often fold over the edges because it gives a nicer edge, especially in the part that's going to be the pocket. And that's basically what I do with the entire envelope. So for now I'm just gonna keep running the speedcraft for you guys, and I will be back when the next part is starting, and of course I will put on some music in the background. We are nearing the end of the collage process of the envelope, and I'm really liking how it is starting to come together. I really enjoy these papers. Also, one thing that I noticed is while I was filming and I was just crafting on my own, I noticed that it was very nice to not have to talk while crafting. And I don't know, I guess I'm just a bit insecure maybe. And while I was crafting, I was in my zone and I was really enjoying it. And you know, I was just by myself in my bubble. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this as well, and I hope you guys will enjoy the sped up videos as well, and with the voiceovers. I try to not speed it up too much so that you guys won't get dizzy while watching, because someone in the Facebook group mentioned that to me. So I try to you know, take that in account. But this is the last piece of paper that I'm gluing down, and then the folder is finished, the basis, and then I decided to score the fold so that I was sure that it would fold properly. And then I'm giving it one last burnish with the bone folder. With the base done, I decided to sew around it, except for the part where the pouches, of course, and you can see that here it's a very big pocket, and I decided to make a big journal card for that. But before I started that, I decided to ink the folds and around the edges just a bit more to distress it. I also added another circle closure, and now I'm adding some twine around it. Now I'm looking through my pouch with the bigger cuts, or cutouts I should say, from the set to see if there's something there that I want to use. But the biggest tag was too small still, so I want to make my own. And I used a piece of file folder that was left over to make a journal card. And then I'm also punching out a tab, which I am going to be distressing with some ground espresso. I'm then looking through my papers to see what papers I want to use to cover it. I, in the end up with some neutral papers because, as I said, I want it to be a journal card, so it has to be something that you can still write on. And once I've chosen my papers, I'm just simply gonna glue it down on both sides. I also like to use my bone folder to spread out the glue even more. Not that that is necessary with the glue stick, it's already evenly spread out. I just like to do that. So now I've covered both sides, and then I run it through my sewing machine. I've rounded the corners, I've inked all around it, I've added the tab, and in the tab I've added 3 eyelets. I forgot to film that part. And then I'm using a walnut stain, I believe, to add some splatters. The papers were already distressed from their own, so it didn't really need that much. I do decide, however, to do some stamping. Not too much, because these are journal cards. This is a journal card, so yeah, I don't want to make it too busy. And I'm using eccentric and field notes. Now, I tried using this extra long stamp, but unfortunately it went a bit wrong. The stamp wasn't really neat. I don't know if you can see it that well on camera, but I could see it and it annoyed me a bit, but oh well, it's fine. And for this stamp I decided to let it go off the page. I like doing that as well. And now I'm looking through the smaller cutouts to see if I can find something to decorate the tag with just a little bit, and also to hide that spot of the stamp where it went a bit wrong. There's so much stuff that it's taking me quite a while to find something. And this is what I decided to go for. I then also distress the edges a bit and ink around them. I'm adding just a little strip of some leftover papers. I really enjoyed that yellow butterfly. I like the splash of color. And then I decided it was missing something, so I grabbed my lace, but I don't know, it didn't really fit. So then I took out my basket with some scrap fabrics, and I looked through there to see if there was something I could use just to add a little bit more texture. And I ended up going for a little piece of this fabric. And then I also ran this through my dye machine, through the sewing machine. Oh gosh. Yeah, I really like the look of that. And then I just glue it down and this side will be done. Then on the other side I'm also going to add just a few decorations on the top side. Now after that it's just gonna be finished. I wanna leave as much space as possible for writing. I'm not a journaler, by the way, I just enjoy making this, so it's intended to be written in, even though I don't do that. I don't know, do you guys do that too? The ones that are, like, if you're not a journaler, do you also make it for a journaler, or are you just gonna be decorating everything because you don't intend to write in it? Please let me know in the comments, I'm very curious about that. So I am just roughening up these pieces, crumbling them up a bit as well to make them look older, and then inking all around. And I also put it a butterfly on the back side because then it will sort of fit together with the front. Now the tag is done and I am going to put it in a folder. And I want to make sure that the tab sticks out. And then on the inside, I wanted to place some tags, but I didn't really want just a big tag, so I decided to do tags that overlap. So I'm looking through the tags that come with the kit to see which ones I like together, and I'm using 4 of them. I'm then going to roughen up all the edges and ink around all of them. I'm also going to back them with some papers from the journal kit. I think I only filmed 1 of them, or 2 maybe, to see what I did. And then I stopped filming for a while to do the other ones. Very straightforward, just, you know, distressing the edges and stuff. These tags will also be able to be written on the back side, so they act as journal cards as well. And now I've put the background papers on all of the tags, and I start roughing up the edges and inking them. I then check to see if all the corners are glued down properly, and if not, I will glue them down with a bit of art glitter glue. Then I do that with all the tags and I sew all around them. And then I make holes in each one of the tags so that I can attach them together. And then I use a split pen. I really hope that's the right word. I'm using one of Tim Holtz. And I'm not doing it too tight because I want them to be able to move still. So make sure you don't do these too tight. And then I covered it up with a bit of decorations. Just a few bits and bobs from the kit. And I'm also just keeping that very simple. Now the tags are finished. I really like how it turned out. It didn't really need any decorations because the papers are pretty on their own, but I do decide to put some eyelets in the top one, or eyelet I should say. I just put the one, and then I put on a charm as well. I can always decide to decorate later if I want to. I then realized I forgot the circle to put that underneath. I really like those circles because it really gives a very neat edge. It does make it a bit bigger on the back side, so you do need to keep in mind that you need more space than on the back side. And here I'm just grabbing some metal keys, or charms I should say. I don't use charms that many because I don't really have that many. And I also don't do the dangles often. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I don't have enough beads and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's just another thing that I'm going to have to buy. And I'm like, yeah, never mind. But then obviously the tags need to be put in somewhere. So I decided to make a side talk. So I took out some craft stock paper and glue it together for some more stability. And then I went back to that lace because I really liked that lace, and I was like, yeah, I just have to use it somewhere. The lace just spoke to me. So I cut it to size and then I added with a bit of glue. And I'm gluing it in a way that it sticks out a bit. And after that I am going to look for some little bits and bobs to embellish the rest of the paper. I really loved the flowers on this piece of paper, so I thought it would fit well with the lace, as that's the reason why I chose it. In my opinion, it doesn't necessarily fit the page where it's going on, but I don't mind. I like that look actually. And then I'm also using some scraps from leftover threads to put beneath the embellishment. I always forget to do that, but I really like that look. And then it just needs a little bit of decorations on the top side. And then I found this little photo and it was so cute, so I was like, yeah, I have to use this. And it also fits the lace and the flowers because it's a little girl. And then I'm roughening up the edges again with my scissors and gluing it. I'm also folding over the edge of a corner a bit. It's a miracle that I didn't cut myself, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it, but I always leave my scissors open really close to me when I have distressed the edges. I'm just noticing that right now. I mean, here I do it again. It's such a miracle that I didn't cut myself yet. Don't be like me. Be aware of your scissors. Then this cluster is also done, and I glue it down. And after that, I'm going to run this through my sewing machine as well. And then I'm going to attach it to the folder. But then I noticed that the white of the postcard item was sticking out, so I decided to glue it down a little bit lower so you won't be able to see that. For this pocket, because I want to make sure that it will never let go, I'm using a bit of double-sided tape as well as some art glitter glue. I'm not sure if that helps for extra stability or not, but in my mind it works. And then I'm just checking to see if it's straight. And then this is also finished, and now the text can go in. I really like how this folio is turning out. Then I am taking the same piece of paper, the craft paper, to make some pockets to slide in some extra ephemera items, and I'm just stirring them with a ruler. I'm making 2 pockets in the middle section. I also want to put some papers on top of those. Then I noticed that on the bottom side there was also just a bit left of the label that was also going to be on the pocket, so I decided to put that one on the top side. It took me a while to figure out which piece of paper I wanted to use on the bottom side, but eventually I'm going for this one with the label on it. I then ink around all the edges and roughen it up a bit where needed. And after that I also put it through my sewing machine. I got my sewing machine for Christmas from my boyfriend, and I am so happy that I have one. I've been using it in almost all projects. It adds so much to your project. But please do not feel obliged to use a sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine, it's not necessary, guys. Just, you know, I just prefer it because I like it. Then I've sewn around it and I'm cutting off all the extra threads or excess threads. And then I attach the pockets to the folio. For this I used just only the art glitter glue, not the double-sided tape. Reason being is that it's going to hold thin pieces like paper, ephemera stuff, so it doesn't need to be glued down extra. Art glitter glue is already strong on its own. I really enjoy art glitter glue, by the way. It's the glue of my choice. And then the pockets are on, and I really like the papers that I've chosen. And then I'm also going to make some smaller pockets for the sides. At first I thought I was going to do them on the inside, but I ended up to gluing them on the other side of this flap. I then decided that I wanted to have 3 flaps, pockets instead of 2. And these pockets will hold smaller things like tickets and such. Now this folio is perfect to use as snail mail or happy mail. You can also put it in a journal. You can glue it down on the back side or put it in a pocket or in a side tuck or under a belly band. Here I'm also looking for small pieces of paper to cover the cardstock with, just like I did with the other pockets. And I'm also going to distress the edges, ink all around them, and put a bit of, well, I'm going to sew, but I don't think I'm going to sew all around it. I think I only did like 1 line. Yeah, I only did 1 line. I thought it were so small it would be more than enough of sewing. And then I stick these down into the folder as well. And with that, the folio is finished, the inside, but I still thought that it needed something in front. So I'm using that same lace that I used earlier again to glue down a strip on the front. And I'm just doing that to tie it in a bit with the rest of the folio. I like to repeat elements that I've used to make it more cohesive, I guess. And then I'm using this longer strip to go on top. It actually fit perfectly. And I do that because I thought the lace needed a bit more stability. It was only glued on a small strip, so yeah, this will hold it down better, I guess. And then I'm just going to trim a bit of the lace so it fits even better, because it took out it was sticking out a bit. And with that, the folio is finished. So this is the end result. I really like how it turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this project as well, and I hope you guys will make one of your own. So in the front we have a large journal card. And then I really love that side tuck. It's so cute. I really like it. And then the tags, of course, inside, which can be decorated even more if you know, if someone would want to, and placed to right on the back. And then I filled the folio up with some ephemera pieces from the kit. I've roughened up the edges, folded them, you know, stuff like that. And on the side I placed some tags and smaller bits and bobs. And that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!